I want to thank Gina and Jeff for inviting me to do this. This is really cool, and that music was awesome. I guess a little bit about the theme. When I read it, I thought of the movie Love and Other Drugs with Jake Gyllenhaal. And a friend watched this movie with me in the theater, and I kid you not, I had not cried so much in public than I did when I watched that movie. It was very awkward on the ride home. I couldn't talk. It was after a very bad breakup, so it's connected to that. It was just, oh, I'm getting all misty thinking about it. Okay. And then, just a little more preambling. I really appreciate that Jeff records these. I had never seen myself read before, really. I've heard myself read, and I hate it. But I also hate seeing myself read because I'm doing this thing where it's like I'm kind of smiling but trying to suppress it. I think the technical term is smirky.
Yeah.
And I apologize to anybody that wants to hit me in the face
Just
right now. I'll be done soon. Sorry, I'm smirky. So, I know I'm doing it right now. So today was the annular, is that right? Yeah. Annular? I don't know how to pronounce it. Solar eclipse, which was kind of exciting. I love kind of like things like that. Not so much, well, part of it because of how scientifically cool it is, but also it just has like wrapped up in mythology. I had this book, or I had this series of books by Isaac Asimov about like astrology, but it would also get into the myths about it and how many different cultures interpreted, you know, the solar eclipse, like, you know, I don't know, dragon eating the moon or wolf eating the moon. So I thought I'd just share this short poem that is also related to love. Moon mouth, garden gone. There's a distance between libidinal and liminal, but I do not know it. I only know it exists. To desire is to be outside looking in. Temptation is a limit to betray whether it is kept or not. Human sexuality is as elusive as departure is finite. The swift, mechanistic patter of Hermes' wings flutters inside me. The moon's Enso-like shape is at odds with our oblate spheroid on which we model our ignorance. I promise to never let go of your hand if you sing to no one else. A dandelion shrugs its potential clones into the humid night. In such moonlight, the hairs of it shimmer, and they travel away from where breath originates. I keep an invisible seed on my tongue. It is a made-up word taking root in me. It is a network of blackberry vines yet to be. The made-up etymology stems from the Latin for to grow, and from the Sanskrit, it means to discover. But in this unforgettable moment, it means oblivion. And since I'm being honest up here, I don't really need glasses, so I'm going to take them off. Because they're greasy or something and I can't read in this low light. So, that's that. So, the next poem, and there's a few of them, or three of them that I have, that I'll be reading tonight. It's part of a series called Book of Something, and Jack Spicer had a series of these poems also, or series of poems with this title, or I kind of found it very generative after leaving the MFA to like kind of like write poems in this mode. They kind of have a definitional or encyclopedic character to them that colors, I guess, the content of the poem, and some of them actually it's great that I'm reading in Temescal. I have like a wheat pasted on Temescal on some of the walls, so like some of the poems have been graffitied in this area. So I guess another characteristic of this series is that it's kind of public or confessional. Book of Leaving. When you first try coke, it should be on a boat with an island friend. Keys do more than unlock doors. The feel of teeth in the nostril, remember it. It's memory that keeps friendships together. Tiny bathrooms, too drunk or seasick. Suddenly on the plane to South Africa, the island friend will miss you most. He'll leave 2 boxes and a backpack for you to hold. Payment, a PlayStation 3, the game console consoles little, and a person-sized keyhole. This one I read at the last reading Jeff invited me to, and I thought it was very appropriate. The title is Molly, and does anybody know what Molly means? Yeah, what is it? Someone volunteer. Yeah, it's MDMA. It's the street name for MDMA, which is...
Were you holding or?
What's that?
Yeah, you can't talk about it unless you're...
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah. No, I can't talk about it. Okay, that's fine. Right. But it's I guess the drug that ecstasy is derived from. Pure form. Anyways, whatever. And I should also say this poem is uncharacteristic of my overall poetic concerns because I guess it's about LA, and I consider myself a Bay Area poet. And I hate LA, but this is kind of an ode to LA. The only way I know how to do it for that awful city. Molly. This is how you have an intimate conversation. Forget everything from the past 8 hours. Forget where you are and why love is coming to you so easily. These Hollywood hills are not your home, though they felt like it. These underwear models are not your friends, but you opened your heart to them. They are gone now. You have cabbed out of Eden, and it's just the 2 of you. This is where it begins. The world, the exchange of words, the rest of the pill before lights out, what's left of honesty in the veins, only bruxism in the way, only the cold morning air in the way, everywhere in Beverly Hills has taken to rest. How did we get here? The question in your eyes and his, first the thigh, then the hands. Home isn't the hills. It isn't even the place from which you came. It's these felicitous minutes facilitated. It's grinding your molars against one another. The microscopic crack of enamel, your animal chemical-laden brain, serotonin, oxytocin, dichromatic eyes, morning breath, stubble, lost hours, depletion, Los Angeles, this ugliest city unloved, momentarily cocooned you in the substance of solace. You say what you will forget and it will never prove to be most important. A cross between apology and confession, a line crossed and forgotten. This next one, title is Folsom, 2011, and named after the Folsom Street Fair. I feel like I'm annotating a lot, but everyone knows Folsom. Yes. This, like all experiences, even those out in the open, as in this throng of public nudity, is personal. Beer drunken, memory gone bound, and God-forgotten men of hair and flesh, leather-clad, strapping, young in ritual permit. I see in lists, in crowds. My sole aim is to lock your eyes to mine. Buckled knees, these butterflies are anviled. Inverse power, let, the rules. After this, I will be king again, regain the secret. For now, I hook my neck to the crook of yours, a violation or the tacit request to combine. Sobriety flashes as it blinks in your eyes, then, like shock, we acknowledge the reality to which we both are tethered. Redoubling ignorance, we rebind ourselves violently to the indomitable momentary clasp, for lack of a better word, we call lapse. So got 2 more, and they're part of the book of series. This one's a site-specific, also very specific to Temescal. I hooked up with this guy, but we became friends. But I told him I was wheat pasting around Temescal. I was like, oh, you should write one and wheat paste it on my house. And I was like, okay. Well, I found out later on that he wanted me to do it because he found out that his ex-boyfriend had moved a block away, and it would be this weird passive-aggressive, like, revenge. like I can't imagine his ex-boyfriend would, like, see that someone had graffitied his house and go, oh, he's sleeping around with someone else. It's just be like, oh, you know, my ex-boyfriend's house has been graffitied. I don't know, but... Book of Hookups. Small talk opens up like an aperture to let in light. The dilation, the mechanistic sphincter. This is the start of practice intimacy. Our world is simple. All safe words are no. When you leave, admit to having a name. Be so polite to let one forget it. Book of Spells. The game romance is an intersection of applied sciences. Chemistry counts. Biology, biology, biology. Temperature, the cold used to cope. Algorithms for hearts and other organs. Balanced equations between friends, others. So many failed trials. Sense is a way of failing at sorcery. Dissecting a frog one should have kissed. Thank you.